This is video 8 in a series about this greenhouse build incorporating a shipping container. In this video we're going to talk about the planter boxes and how I put those together, and hanging the doors and how I finished those. It's been about a year and a half since I built these planter boxes, and the cool thing about them is that they're self-watering. They have a reservoir in them and about 12 inches of soil above that, and the water is automatically coming in to keep that full, so the roots always have access to water. The only problem I ever had with these is once I came out and found a flood in the greenhouse, one of the float valves stuck and the tube I had put in for an overflow was not in the right place, so that didn't work out so well. So we got that fixed, but that's the only problem I've ever had. As you can see, the plants are really happy in these planter boxes. So now let's get into some of the construction. For the sides and the ends, I use 36-inch wide corrugated roofing. I used corrugated because it's stronger than Delta rib and it looks really nice. I used redwood for the cap and a treated wood for the corners and braces. I didn't want these things to move, so I trenched out about 6 inches down. As you can see, I have a great helper, and we got everything in place and leveled. The edges were backfilled and tamped on both sides. I had a lot of extra cinder blocks, so I used those to build up the bottom about 16 inches. Then I covered that with some old metal Delta rib and some old leftover road fabric. I installed a heavy-duty pond liner and I secured it with screws so it'd stay in place until I was able to put the soil in. Here you see me making the cases for the float valves that control the water level. Over the pond liner, I built a manifold out of 4-inch perforated pipe with a sock on it. Now the sock is on there so no dirt can get inside the water. So that manifold will hold the water, and when it comes up in that float valve it'll shut off, and when it needs more it'll just automatically come on. Now that the raised bed planter boxes are done, it's time to put the soil in them, and so I have to make that mixture up. What I have is a base dirt that here is really full of clay, and it's just not acceptable for this kind of growing. The fact is, it's just dirt. It's probably not going to grow anything but weeds. So I'm going to take some of that and mix it with this leaf mulch that I was able to pick up from the city for free. And then I have this peat moss that I picked up in bulk, and I also have some compost that I've been making from horse manure and other things that I've mixed in it. Mix all that up together with some perlite, and that should work really good for wicking in the bottom. These French doors are really nice. They're beautiful and they work really well. And I was blessed in that I found 3 brand new doors still in the crate at a restore for less than half of what one set would cost. So I bought them up, changed my plans a little bit, and used them. Now before I could hang them, I had to paint them, so there was a lot of prep work in that. They did come pre-primed, but I had to put tape around everything, take all the hardware off, It's always quite a job to get the tape off after painting, especially if you leave it set too long. So I went ahead and put the hardware back on it, reinstalled all the ends, put the weather stripping back in on the doors, and then I was able to hang them, which was quite a challenge for one guy, but I managed to get it done. The breezeway has worked out really well. It makes a good buffer between the outside weather and the greenhouse. And with these shades in the window, we can also stop some of that east sun that's really hot in the summertime. And it gives us a place to clean our feet when it gets muddy, and a good place to put our tools if we're using them in and out, so we don't have to trek clear into the greenhouse to the tool room. Well, that wraps it up for video 8. In the next video, we're going to talk about how we built the vents and put the fan in for the circulation, and we're going to put the lid on this thing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Leave a comment, ask a question, share, hit the like button. All right, until the next time.